Okay, class, good evening again. We are going to continue with page 50 and 51. Remember the previous video was about page 48 and 49, so now we are going to continue with page 48. Okay? I'm sorry, I said page 50 and 51. So, if you look at your books on page 50 and 51, here we have, give me 1 second, here we have this that is listening activity. Oh no, we finished this last class. So today we are supposed to do, or now we are supposed to do this one. This activity. Okay, as I told you before, remember this is page 50. So here says amazing homes. Amazing is like fantastic, great, wonderful, amazing homes. And here we have different pictures about different parts of the house and also some furniture. The same topic we talked about some on the previous video, right? So here we have match the pictures A to H with the adjectives in the box. Like these ones, for example. These ones are some adjectives like clean, narrow, light, traditional, heavy, white, modern, and dirty. You can say dirty or dirty as you wish. So the idea here is to match these adjectives with the corresponding picture. Okay? So here we have, I'm not going to tell you the meaning so that you can understand by the context what each adjective means. Remember, these words are adjectives and we use adjectives to describe nouns. In this case, we are going to describe some, here says, some furniture and some parts of the house. Okay, let's start with letter A. Here we have on letter A, let me make a, here, let's write. So here we have on letter A, that would be, look at those shoes. They are not clean, so we can say that those shoes are dirty. Dirty here, they are dirty. The opposite of clean, no? They are not clean, they are dirty. In letter B, there we can see the floor, and in this case is the opposite of picture letter A, so that's a clean place, that's a clean room. We can say that the floor is clean in that case. Letter C, there we have, that's clean, narrow, light. Oh yes, that's light. Is it light? Light, traditional, heavy, white, white, narrow, white. Yes, we can say that it's a light place. Because if you look at the picture, there's a lot of light. It's a light place. It's not dark. The opposite of this word would be dark. Okay, so you have a dark place, and the opposite is a light place. In this case, this living room is very light because there's a lot of light here. Now, let's go on with letter D. Letter D. Here we have in letter D. Oh my goodness, this is so. This noise is very annoying. Yeah. Okay, so here in letter D, there's look at that table and the chairs. They are not modern. They are traditional furniture. That's a traditional table, because nowadays there are some other modern pieces of furniture. That's a traditional chairs and table. Letter E. Here in letter E we have a window. If you look at the window, these are wide windows, wide. And in letter F, that window is narrow. Okay, so they are opposites. Wide windows, narrow windows. Wide, narrow. Then in letter G, there's a, oh, look at that sofa. That's a very heavy sofa. No? Because, look, it's necessary that two people can hold it to carry this sofa from one place to another. So it seems to be very heavy. And the last one, letter H, is narrow, light, traditional, wide, modern. Yes. In this case, is light. Light, which is the opposite of heavy. So here in letter C, the opposite yeah, I'm sorry. In letter C, this, I thought that the adjective to describe this living room was light, but since we don't have an adjective for this picture, so here could be modern. Why not light? Because light has two different meanings. Light could be, as I told you before, when you talk about iluminado, an illuminated place, or the opposite of heavy as well. Okay, so you say heavy, light, dark, light. But in this case, this light is describing the chair. It's very light. It's not heavy. It's light. Okay? So, but you know that light has two different meanings. To talk about the weight, the opposite of heavy, or also when there is a lot of light in a place. Now, what other adjectives can you use to describe rooms or to describe furniture apart from heavy, clean? We can use, for example, a big, small. What other adjectives do you think we can use instead of them to describe a house, to describe rooms in a house? So on page 145, here says 145, we are going to go to that page. Page 145, everyone, guys. We go to that page, and there you will see page 145. Yes, here it is. Oh yeah, but in this case is the second part, common adjectives, okay? And here what we need to do is to match the adjectives with their opposites, and then we have to check if our answers are okay or not. Here we have expensive, clean, narrow, noisy, comfortable, heavy, modern, wide, uncomfortable, light, cheap, traditional, dirty, and quiet. So what you need to do here is to match one of the adjectives with the opposite. Which one do you think is the opposite? For example, here the opposite of expensive could be number one, expensive. The opposite would be letter D, cheap. No? So you say expensive, cheap. So if you want to give an example, or if you want to mention an example with this, we can say that, for example, let's see. Let me think about an example with expensive. iPhones are very expensive. iPhones are very expensive. And let's see another. Here we have these cell phones. I don't remember another cell phone that is cheap, but you have an idea what the opposite of expensive is. Okay. Now, number two, the opposite of clean, as I told you before, is cheap. Oh no, the opposite of clean is dirty, letter F. Number three, Number 3, narrow. Narrow, the opposite of narrow is narrow wide. Narrow wide. Yeah? Remember, narrow is like the windows I showed you before, that's narrow, and the other is wide. Okay? Number 4, noisy. Noisy. Discotheques are very noisy. Babies are very noisy, for example. So number 4, the opposite would be quiet. Letter G. Letter G. Quiet. Okay? So we can say that, for example, babies are very noisy, but university students are always quiet because they are adults and they follow instructions, they always follow rules. So that will be the opposite of noisy. Comfortable. Comfortable, very clear. Uncomfortable, the opposite is uncomfortable. Comfortable, uncomfortable. That sofa is very comfortable. That chair is really uncomfortable. 6, heavy. Heavy, the opposite is light. Light. Oh, light is picture letter C. And number 7, modern. The opposite, traditional. Traditional. Okay, modern. Modern, traditional. Okay, that city is very modern. That city is very traditional, you can say. Modern, traditional. So here you have the answers in case you didn't copy them. Look at, these are the answers for that exercise. And here in this exercise, we need to complete the sentences with the opposite adjectives. With opposite adjectives, okay? For example, here we have in number 1. And number 1 says, I don't like, give me 1 second, please. So, here in number 1 we have, I don't like, let me see, are we recording? Yes, we are recording this. Where is this to copy some sentences? Here. Yeah. Number 1, we have to complete the sentences with opposite adjectives. So in number 1, we would say, number 1, I don't like restaurants. I like places where you can talk with friends. So if you like a place where you can talk with friends, so maybe that's a quiet place, no? A quiet place. So the first one could be, I don't like noisy restaurants. I like quiet places where you can talk to friends, where you can talk with friends. 2, my girlfriend usually buys clothes. My girlfriend usually buys clothes. I'm different. I buy clothes that have, and I have some money for other things. Okay, so here it's, my girlfriend usually buys expensive clothes. I'm different. I buy cheap clothes and have some money for other things. Number 3, we have 2 sofas. One is old, but very traditional. And the other, it's perfect for watching a movie. The other one is new, but it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, definitely. Uncomfortable, correct. Number 4. Here we have, what do we have in number 4? I want to move this. Is it possible? Yes, we can move this. Alright, how about number 4? In number 4, the sentence says, my husband wants to buy some furniture, but I want some things because our apartment is very new. So in number 4, my husband wants to buy some traditional furniture, but I want some some modern, no? Modern, right? Modern. So maybe probably we need to change here in number 3. We have two sofa. One is old but very comfortable. Oh, why did I write traditional? Comfortable, sorry. Comfortable. And the next, your t-shirt is really, go and find a blouse. Your t-shirt's very, it's very, 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 can we say dirty? Is it possible? Yeah, right? I think it's okay. Your t-shirt's really dirty. Go and find a clean blouse. 6. My bike's very, but Carl is really, I can ride his bike with one hand. Oh gosh, I have no idea what words come here in number 6. Noisy, no. My bike is very my bike's very traditional. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one, okay? Because I'm not sure which one would be there. Here, number 7. I only have a double bed on a small closet in my bathroom. The room's narrow. And the bed's the opposite of narrow, and the bed is wide. So I have no space. Okay? So in number 6, the answer could be, oh, help me with this. I have no idea where it goes. What comes in number? We have noisy, expensive, narrow. Do we have narrow? Yes. Clean? Yes. Noisy? Yes, noisy is there. Comfortable? Heavy? Modern, comfortable. Heavy. Oh, you don't have heavy. Heavy and light. My bike, yes. My bike's very heavy. Yes. Thank you for your help. My bike's really heavy, but Carl's is really light. I can carry his bike with only one hand. It was confusing, right? So remember, the idea is to get familiar with these adjectives so that you can complete sentences here on your workbook in a platform to practice. Or also when you want to describe something, you can use one of these adjectives. For example, to talk about places, to talk about cities, to talk about objects that you have in your house, you can use these adjectives. Okay, but first you have to get familiar with them, with their opposites, and also with their meanings. And how do you do that? Just practicing. Okay. Now we continue with page 50. Was it page 50? Oh no, it was the previous one. Here we have this one. So here in number 2 we have, think of the homes of your friends and family. Describe them to your partner with the adjectives. My parents' apartment has a modular kitchen and a bathroom. There's an old armchair in the living room. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting activity because here we can use there is or there are, and also use the adjectives that we have here to describe someone's apartment or someone's house. Okay? Here, for example, you can talk about the place you live in, for example. My apartment, because in my case, I live in an apartment. I don't live in a house. My apartment is small. That's in my case, huh? But it's very comfortable, for example. It's small, but it's very comfortable. There is, I'm gonna write here some description of the place I live in. Let me move this so that you can see what I'm writing. Here, this one. Oh, how can I move this? Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Look. My apartment is small, but it's very comfortable. There is, there are, let me write, there are, yeah? There are wide windows. There are wide windows. Yes, because the windows are really wide. There is there is um there is there is a balcony, and let me use, how can I use another adjective? And the floor is clean all the time. Oh, yes, perfect description. Look at this. This is in my case, okay? Here, I try to use some of the adjectives we have seen here, and also there is and there are, something that we did on the previous video. So here, for example, I can say about my apartment. My apartment is small, but it's very comfortable. There are wide windows, there's a balcony, and the floor is clean all the time. Yes, it's clean all the time because I have a baby. I have 2 children, so I clean the floor all the time so that it is clean for them to play. Yeah? So as you can see here, you can use one of those adjectives to describe where you live or to describe someone's house, like here in the example. Okay? Perfect. So in number 3 we have in pairs. Let me make this closer. Yeah, let's make this closer. And we have in pairs. Look at the pictures from the show. What adjectives can you use to describe each house? Interesting. What we have here, what words can you describe to describe each house? Maybe here we can say, oh, here says this house is in the Philippines, no? And this house is in the Czech Republic, Republika Czech. Here, maybe we can say that this house is small, it's traditional, and it's very beautiful, for example. And this one is modern. It's modern. It's clean, maybe you can say clean, modern. It has wide windows. No, it has wide windows, and it's very well, modern, as I said before. Okay. Let me see here, identifying key points. Oh, well, those are some tips for listening. But unfortunately, we don't have listening. The only practice we have with listening is in the platform, and also here with me. So here in the second part, we have, that's a listening activity. We're not going to stop there. Here we have the use of some contractions. Look at this. How to use contractions. You know, the contractions are used in order to sound faster. Okay, that's when we use contractions. So the idea to use contractions is that instead of saying he is calling, you say he's calling. So you sound faster. Your speech, your pronunciation sounds more natural. So that's why we use contractions. Okay, and also in spoken language, when you speak, it is more common to use contractions. When you write, it's more common to write like this without contractions, especially if you write or if you are writing with a formal style. Okay, here you say he's calling. My home isn't big instead of is not big. I don't understand instead of I do not understand. You say I don't understand. Yep. And then we have read the listening builder in pairs, complete the sentences to show how the contractions, or to show with the contractions in the box. When let's see here. Let's make a box here. Oh, what happened? What happened here? What happened? Oh, here it is. Look. Alright, here it is. When cold, the house turns and moves up and gets something. There's something there. So maybe we can say that when it's cold, when it's cold. when it is cold, no? When the weather is cold, when the climate is cold, when it's cold. Number 2, I mean a garage at a house. I mean, I don't mean there's a garage in the home. I don't mean there's a garage at a house. There are about 300 small apartments and they are very cheap because you are referring to the apartments. You are talking about the apartments. Number 4, my opposite the kitchen. My beds. My bed's opposite the kitchen. Here's the contraction of my bed is in front of the kitchen. Number 5. There are 4 bathrooms and there's a bathroom next to the bathroom. Here is the contraction of there is. And number 6, we have a teacher. A teacher. The last one. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. Oh, what happened? I'm a teacher instead of I am a teacher. So as you can see, when you use contractions, you're just putting words together. You join the words in order to sound more natural, to make your pronunciation more natural, more fluent. And it's also very common, as I told you, especially when you are speaking. Yes? Now, discuss the questions in pairs. Here we have some questions that I would like you to think about your answers. And if you want, you can send me your answers on the WhatsApp group. Okay? Number 1, we have, do you remember about the homes in the video? Which homes in the video? Oh no, but these questions are about the videos, the homes in the videos. No, so it's not going to be possible to answer these questions because I don't have the video. I only have this PDF of the book, unfortunately, but I'm trying to do my best to help you with this material. Okay? Alright, great. If you have a question, remember, you can send me your questions on the WhatsApp group. Now, let's continue with the last. This is almost the last part. What's this? This is almost the last part, okay? We are on page 50, and this is a very interesting topic. It's also very easy. So please pay attention. Remember, we are almost done. So I need all your attention and participation as well, okay? Here we have the Big Apple. Which city is called the Big Apple? The Big Apple? Do you have an idea? New York, yes. New York, it's also called, or it's also known as the Big Apple, yeah? Here says, think of a city from these continents and regions. Write a fact about each city. Remember, what is a fact? A fact is some real information, okay? Some real information about something or about someone. That is a fact. Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America, Australasia, there says Australasia. Okay, so here it says, think of a city from these continents and write a fact about each city. We can talk about, for example, let's think about the country. Oh no, but here it says, think of a city, no? From one of these continents and regions. So let's talk about Latin America, for example. Latin America. We have to think about the country and to write some facts about that place. Latin America, which country can we say, or which country can we talk about? Let's say Peru, yeah, our country. Okay, so we have to write a fact, some real information about this place, about our country in this case. So we can say that, for example, something that is real, we can say Peru has a lot of tourist attractions, for example, has a lot of tourist attractions. Um, it has it has three regions. It has three regions, and let's write, what else can we say? And the capital, and the capital, and the capital city is Lima. That's There we have two sentences with a fact or with real information about one country here. In this case, is our country. Okay. And like this, you can also in your houses think about like the exercises here. Think of a city from one of these continents and write a fact about that place. Okay, now look at the pictures. What do you already know about New York City? Make a list, read the text, write what information about New York City is new to you. New York. We have seen information in movies. This is one of the most famous city maybe. So what do you know about this? Look at the pictures. Here says which pictures? I only see one picture here. Or is there another picture there? Oh no, that's only one picture. Oh, that's only one picture. Why do I look at the pictures? Oh yeah, because here there are. Okay, so here we have to discuss first what you know or what you remember about this city, or what have you heard about this place. So you want to visit New York City? There says, what do you know about New York City? First of all, I know that it's called or it's known like the Big Apple, right? The Big Apple. And that there are yellow taxis, yellow cabs, no? What else? What else? I don't know. Let's see. So we're going to read here. Okay, we're gonna read, and then we're gonna see what new information do we have about this beautiful place that is the New York City. Okay, so we have here. So you want to visit the New York City? Let's read together, and then we underline the new information we have discovered about this place. Okay, here says that, so you want to visit the New York City? We have New York City, the Big Apple, is my favorite city in the world. I love the streets, the modern skyscrapers. These are skyscrapers. Skyscrapers. These ones. This is a skyscraper. And all apartment buildings. It's fun of really famous sites. Or even on short visits, you can see a lot of amazing things. For many people, number one on the list of places to see is the Empire State Building. It's a very famous skyscraper, and there are great views of the city from its 86th and 102nd floors. Another interesting skyscraper is 4 Times Squares, formerly the Condé Nast Building. It's not beautiful at all. In my opinion, it's an important green building. New York has very cold winters and pretty hot summers, but 4 Times Square produces its own comfortable temperature for most of the year. For a fantastic view of Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty, visit the Brooklyn Bridge. It's great for taking photos, and it's really busy with hundreds of cars, bikes, and people. If you get stressed out by the noise, go back to Manhattan and relax in City Hall Park for a while. It's a pretty small park, but it's very special. You can have your lunch there and decide what to do next. See a show on Broadway, go shopping on Fifth Avenue, and go for a walk in Central Park. It's impossible to be bored in this incredible city. By Harry Fuller. So I have also heard that this place is very famous because there are a lot of places you can visit. Like you can see here, there are different attractions that you can visit or that people can visit, and there are different activities that you can do as well, no? Like go shopping, go for a walk, It's impossible to be bored in this incredible city here we have. So, read the text again. What adjectives does the writer use to describe these places? We're going to highlight the adjectives that the writer uses to describe these places. The Empire State Building. Empire State Building is one of the list. It's a very famous skyscraper. The Empire State Building. It's famous, and there are great views. Yeah, okay. So which adjectives does the writer describe, or does the writer use to describe the Empire State Building? One of them is that it's very famous. There are great views. No, that's another adjective that the writer is using to describe the Empire State Building. Number 2, what adjectives are used to describe the 4 Times Square? 4 Times Square. Oh, here says. Another interesting skyscraper is 4 Times Square. It's not beautiful at oh, look at this. It's not beautiful at all, in my opinion, the writer says, but it's an important green building. Oh, interesting. New York has very cold weather. Yeah, okay. The Brooklyn Bridge. What adjectives does the writer use to describe the Brooklyn Bridge? The Brooklyn Bridge. For a fantastic view of Manhattan, you can use the visit the bridge. It's great. It's great for taking photos, but it's really busy. Also, the writer says, no, that it's a great place for taking photos, but it's really busy. And finally, the City Hall Park. The City Hall Park here says, go back to Manhattan. We're in City Hall Park for a while. It's a pretty small park. It's a pretty small park. This is the description that the writer is using for City Hall Park, but it's very special. It's pretty small park, but it's very special. No? Oh, interesting. So the writer here, as you can use, is using different adjectives to describe these 4 places. Now we need to match sentences 1 to 5. With the pictures A to D. 2 of the sentences match 1 picture. Then read the grammar box. So, here we have 4 pictures, and we need to match them with these words, okay? These words, so that the ones that you can see, no? Here we can see some of the additional words added to the adjective here. Like, for example, here, really busy, very special, pretty small park, not beautiful at all. So we are going to use here, where if you see, those words are also in these sentences, but first we need to match, okay? Number 1 we have, number one, let me change this here, yeah. Number 1, this restaurant is very busy. Then we have number 2, this restaurant's not very busy. Busy refers to the number of people in the restaurant, okay? This restaurant's pretty busy. This restaurant's really busy. This restaurant is not busy at all. Okay? So as you can see here, we have that 2 sentences match 1 picture. So let's write here from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5. No, 4 and 5, yeah. Number 1. Let's start with the easy ones. Here it says this restaurant is really busy. Number 4. Look at number 4. Really busy. Which one? So I think number 4 is letter A. Really busy. Extremely busy. Oh, yeah. Number 4, picture number 4 goes with picture letter C. This restaurant is really busy. Oh no. I'm sorry, picture number 4 goes with letter A. And then we have this restaurant is very busy. Very busy would be very busy. I think letter B. Yes, letter B is very busy. So number 1, letter B. Number 1, letter B. Okay. This restaurant is pretty busy. So we have really busy, very busy, pretty busy, very, really busy. We have in number 2 this restaurant. No, we are going to skip number 2 and 3. This restaurant's pretty busy. Definitely letter C. It's pretty busy. It's like so, not very busy at all. Okay. And here, this ones, we have picture A, B, C, D. Definitely picture letter D. Number 2 goes with picture letter D. This one. This restaurant is not very busy, no? Like this one, look. Only 1, 2, some people only in the restaurant. So we can say that this restaurant is not very busy, or we can say that this restaurant's not busy at all. Okay, so number 5 would go with letter D as well. So one more time, look at the difference here. I want you to look at the pictures, to look at the sentences, so that you can notice how we use these words. Here we have this restaurant. We are going to start with letter A. Okay, letter A here. Letter A. This restaurant is really busy. Is really busy. Look at the number of people. There are a lot of people. This restaurant is really busy. Letter B. In letter B we have, as you can see, we don't have the same number of people. So here we can say that this restaurant is very busy. Not really busy like this one, but very busy. Here, in letter C, this restaurant is pretty busy. Pretty, not at all. It's like pretty busy. Not like very busy, but pretty busy. So. And finally, this restaurant is not very busy or not busy at all. Not adjective plus at all. So when do we use those words? If you look at the sentences, they are words that you use to emphasize what you want to express. Okay? It's like, for example, when you say, oh, what do you think about English? And maybe for some students, oh, you say, oh, teacher, come on, English is really easy, not difficult. English is really easy. And maybe I ask another student, says, oh, teacher, yes, English is very easy, very easy. And maybe another student says, so, teacher. So English is pretty easy. And maybe some students say, oh no, teacher, English is not very easy. Or English is not easy at all. Okay? So as you can see, it depends on your intention. So when you want to describe something, it depends on what you want to express. So that's going to depend on what words you use here. Okay? So you can say, what do you think about, let's suppose about, let's say about, let's see, about, about a city, for example, yeah? Maybe, for example, you say, what do you think about Cusco? You say, oh, Cusco is really beautiful. Very beautiful. It's pretty beautiful. Or maybe some people say, Cusco is not very beautiful. It's not beautiful at all. There are a lot of people and everything is very expensive. So as you can see, it depends on what you want to express. And these little words are going to help you to put more emphasis on what you want to express. So it's going to change the meaning of the adjective, okay? The intensity of the adjective, okay? Here, if you look at page 51 on your books, here we have that these words are modifiers. Look at this. There are really beautiful views. So here you can say there are beautiful views of the city, but here you are using this word to give more emphasis. There are really beautiful views. It's really hot in summer. Or you can say it's hot in summer, only that. But here you are using this word to give more emphasis. It's a pretty famous building. It's like, oh yeah, it's famous, but it's not. It's a pretty. Remember, pretty has a pretty famous building. Yeah, and here it's not a very beautiful park. For example, big park. It's not a beautiful building at all. So you use those words, and as you can see there, those words are called. They are called, how they are called? Ah, yeah, they are called modifiers. Modifiers. Yeah, they are called modifiers. Here in the PowerPoint presentation, you can see this example. So it comes from really, pretty, very, not at all. Okay. Um. Yes. Pretty, very, or not at all. I think that here we can change. We can change. Here we can change very for pretty. Here. Really, very, very, pretty. Because very has more intensity than pretty. Very. Yeah? So you can say, here you can say Chinese is really beautiful. Chinese is Chinese is really difficult. Chinese is very difficult. Chinese is pretty difficult. Or Chinese is not at all difficult. Okay? Oh no, here for not at all, you change. It's not difficult at all. Oh yes, that's the correct form. It's not difficult at all. Here in the middle, you use the adjective. You use the adjective in the middle. Here, hey, what happened? So you say, Chinese is really difficult, very difficult, pretty difficult, or Chinese is not difficult at all. So here this adjective comes in the middle. It comes in the middle. Okay? Now complete the sentences with one of the words so they are true for you. Compare with a partner. So this is individually. I'm going to give you this as homework because there is no correct or incorrect answer. Here you need to use one of these words here. One of the words. But as I told you, it says that you have to complete the sentences so that they are true for you. So maybe here you say, I am really good at learning languages. Or maybe some students say, I am pretty good at, I'm pretty good at learning languages. So it depends on you, on what you want to say. Okay? Look at this. Number 4. English grammar is, maybe you say, oh teacher, English grammar is really complicated. English grammar is very complicated. English grammar is pretty complicated, or English grammar is not complicated at all. That will go with number 4. Okay? So remember, we use those words, those modifiers, to change the intensity of the verb. What am I saying? The intensity of the adjective. Okay, the intensity of the adjective. And here, I think we have some exercise on page 122. Page 122, modifiers. Oh yeah, look. We use modifiers with adjectives to make them stronger or weaker. Okay? You can say it's a really it's really big. Or it's very big. It's pretty big, you can also say. The second example. It's not very big. Or maybe you say it's not big at all. Okay? So remember, we use those modifiers to modify the meaning of the adjective, or to give more intensity or less intensity to an adjective. Okay? Here we have in number 1, rewrite the sentences. Put the modifiers in parentheses in the correct place. So here, the modifier in number 1 would say, let's change. In number 1, we have the beach is busy today. It's okay if you say the sentence like that. The beach is busy today. It's okay, but you can also, if you want to give more intensity to the adjective, you can say the beach is very busy. Very, very busy. Very busy. So here, if you notice, this modifier like very, really, pretty is gonna go at before the adjective. Okay, it's very busy, not busy, very busy. Number 2. In number 2, we have the stadium is full at the moment. The stadium, the stadium is not very, not very, not very full at the moment. Okay. Number 3, you can buy beautiful presents at the market. You can buy really beautiful presents. Really beautiful presents. Beautiful presents. Really beautiful. This word before the adjective. Okay, before the adjective. And then in number 4, what we have in number 4, this is an old apartment building. So this is okay, so where's the adjective? All, and we need to use the word pretty before the adjective. So we need to change a because there says pretty. This is a pretty old apartment building. This is a pretty old apartment building. 5. This cafe is expensive. So we change this cafe. This cafe is not expensive at all. This cafe is not expensive at all. Okay? Remember, when you have not at all, you have the adjective in the center, in the middle. This cafe is not expensive at all. English is not difficult at all. It's like, no es esto del todo, no es caro, no es del todo caro, no es del todo difícil, lo que decimos en español. Okay? Number 6, I'm reading an interesting book right now. So we would say, in that sentence, we would say, I'm reading. And where's the adjective here? Remember, these words come before the adjective. Here the adjective is interesting. So you need to use pretty interesting. But here it says So you need to use I'm reading a pretty interesting. I'm reading a pretty interesting book right now. Alright, so as you can see, this is very easy, but remember, these modifiers go before the adjective, please. Antes del adjetivo. Very beautiful, pretty interesting, really expensive, not expensive at all, not interesting at all. Yeah, before the adjectives, please. Let me see what we have here in number 2. Put the words in the correct order to make sentences. Okay, we're going to do it together. Here we have, let me change this. Okay, I'm going to change this. This is the second part, yeah? Number 1 again. The bathroom there, large, is pretty. There is a pretty large, there's a pretty large bathroom. There's a pretty large bathroom. Number 2, a skyscraper, I in very tall work. I work in a very tall skyscraper. I work in a very tall skyscraper. Number 3. I street on a live quiet pretty. Oh my gosh. I live on a, oh my god, help me with this. I live on a pretty, I live on a pretty, here we have the modifier and then the adjective, quiet street. I got it. I live on a pretty quiet street. Alright, how are you doing there? Try to do it on your own. Number 4, clothes are these very expensive. These clothes are expensive. Oh no, teacher, there's a mistake. Yes, I know there's a mistake here. Expensive. Where do we put the very? Does the very goes here? These clothes are very expensive. Okay. Number 5. Sister at isn't my busy at all. My sister isn't busy at all. My sister isn't busy at all. And number 6, food good that isn't very. The food isn't very good. Oh great, I did it. I could finish the sentences. How about you? Are you doing them? Are you trying to write the sentences in your houses? I hope so, please. Remember, it's important to practice. And while you are watching the video, to do the exercise at the same time. Okay? Let's see. Then we have in number 3, look at this review on his vacation, complete the sentences with a okay, we're not going to do this because okay, yeah, let's do it, yeah. Here says, look at this information and we have to complete using this according to this, I suppose. Yeah. Number 1, the old town is really beautiful. Yes, it's really beautiful. But it's busy, really, as well. It's really busy. Oh, really busy. Number 3, the restaurants are not the restaurants are not expensive at all. The restaurants are not expensive at all. And the food is really good. And the food is really good. 5. The beaches are pretty. Can we say pretty? Yes, no? Pretty crowded. The beaches are pretty crowded. The beaches are pretty crowded. The beaches are pretty crowded, but they are really clean. They are really clean. It's good for families. It's a very, let's say very, yeah? It's a very, number 7. Is it number 7? Yes. It's a very good place for families because it's a very cheap place to stay. Okay? Remember something. The use of these words like really, very, pretty, not at all, they are not necessarily, there's not necessarily a rule that says here you have to express. No. Remember, as I told you, they are going to depend on what you want to express. Esas palabras le dan intensidad, más intensidad o menos al adjetivo. Okay? So the idea is that you recognize the position of them. Remember, what is the position of those words before the adjective? And here you can say it depends on your opinion. You can say really beautiful, very beautiful, pretty beautiful, as you decide. Okay? The important thing here is that you recognize where each word goes. Yes? Now I think we are almost over. We're not gonna do exercise number 6 because John says the hotel is very, no. Here, pronunciation part in number 7 because we're almost done here in number 7, yeah? Oh, what happened? Yeah, here in exercise number 7. The same, we continue on the book, huh? Here we have, that's page 59 if you check here. Here, pronunciation sentences, listen and the underlying words stress. Is it page 50? Oh no, that's not, we don't have the same page here. It's page 53. 53. Page 53. Here says, pronunciation stress. Listen, check, and repeat. And if it is possible, say the words in your houses. This is a really interesting city. This is a really interesting city. The bridge is pretty wide. The bridge is pretty wide. Our office isn't very nice. Our office isn't very nice. The cafe isn't cheap at all. The cafe isn't cheap at all. Their new house is very traditional. Their new house is very traditional. It's a really famous monument. It's a really famous monument. Say the sentences, listen, check, and repeat. This apartment is really modern. Pizza Palace is a very expensive restaurant. Boston is a pretty nice city. This square is very popular. We live in a very old house. This building's not beautiful at all. Okay? Oh my gosh. Now, we have complete the sentences with the words in the box. Now that we are talking about cities and places, we are going to see some vocabulary related to places in a city. Yeah? Places like square, cathedrals, apartment buildings, skyscrapers, mosques, and market. Number 1. Number 1. Religious buildings like cathedrals. Religious buildings like cathedrals. Religious buildings like cathedrals and mosques. Las mezquitas, that's mosques. Yeah, mezquitas. Number 2. Are very tall buildings. They can be hotels, office buildings, and skyscrapers. No, skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are very tall buildings. They can be hotels, office buildings, and apartment buildings. Apartment buildings. Number 3. A is an open area in a town or city. A square. A square is an open area in a town or city. There's often a market where you can buy things, vegetables for you. No? What do we have here? Where you can go shopping. Okay, square and markets. So what other places can you find or Yes, can we see, find in a city? Apart from them, apart from cathedrals, square, markets, skyscrapers, what other places can you find in a city? So maybe schools, supermarkets, train stations, what else? What else? Pharmacies, um, cinemas, theaters, discotheques. So those are the different places that you can find in a city. And here we have on page 146, we have one more word or one more page of places in a city. Places in a city, here it is. Match the places in the box on page, this is on page 146, okay, 146. Here we have match the places with the in the box to the pictures 1 to 4. Then listen and check. Now, everyone follow me with the pronunciation so that we can then match, okay? First, apartment buildings, bridge, cathedral, concert hall, library, market, monument, mosque, office building, park, skyscraper, square, stadium, and theater. Theater, theater, theater. Alright, so let's match the places with the corresponding place. Number one. Number one, that's a market. Market. Number two, cathedral, no? That's a cathedral. Cathedral. There is a cathedral. Yeah. Number three, that's a mosque. Number four, that is a bridge. Number five, is it a library? Yes, the library. Library. It's not librería, it's biblioteca, library. Number six, apartment building. Apartment building. Apartment building. Okay, I'm gonna write it here. I'm gonna put it here so that you can see better. Apartment building. Number seven, skyscraper. El rascacielos, skyscraper. Number eight. What is that? Number eight. Apartment building, mosque, bridge, cathedral, monument, stadium, theater. Theater? Is it a theater? No, I think number 10 is a theater. So that would be, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's skip it. Number 9. What is it in number 9? Concert hall. Ah, yeah. Here is a concert hall. Concert hall. It's a place where singers give concerts. Number 9 would be an office building. Yes, office building. Office building. Building, like the ones that we have in San Isidro, no? They are office buildings. Number 10 is the theater. Theater. The spelling is incorrect. Theater. 11. Picture 11. Let me see what we have on picture 11. That's square. That's the square. Number 12, a stadium. I have never been to a stadium. Never in my life. And I don't want to because I know that they are, especially when there are football matches, they are dangerous. But maybe if, oh no, once, I remember, I think it was like 10 years ago, I went to the Monumental Stadium because there was a concert. Yes. But well, it wasn't exactly in the stadium. It was like next to it. 13. Monument. That's a monument. And the last one, that would be a park. Park. That's a really big park. No? That's a really big park. Park. Okay. So there you have the words. You have the vocabulary. You have how each word is called. And using those words, you have to answer these questions here. Number 2 and number 3. This is vocabulary, okay? So you can do it on your own. Yes, you can do it on your own. All right. Okay. So now we are going to continue. Please do this, huh? Do this. Do this. Do this. Now we continue with page 53, and here on page 53, yeah, page 53, there is oh yes, there is one exercise, but unfortunately this is a listening activity, so we are not going to do it. Instead, I would like you to tell me what places are there in your town, in your downtown. For example, in my case, I live in Cercado, and here in Cercado there are a lot of well, not a lot, but there are some parks. There are a lot of schools, and there's a cathedral in the downtown. There's a very beautiful cathedral in the downtown, and there are some apartment buildings. In fact, I live in an apartment building, and oh yeah, there's a stadium as well, the San Marcos Stadium. There's a really big stadium. There's a market, there's a clean market as well, and there aren't any skyscrapers here. We don't have skyscrapers in Lima, right? Or do we? Skyscrapers. Okay, so how about your downtown? What places can you find in your downtown? So send me the audios on the WhatsApp group. What places can you find? Try use the example I told you before. Yeah. And the last part, we are almost finished. This is just writing. So here it says we are going to match the capital cities with the countries. We are going to read this. We are not going to do this writing because we did a writing before, the writing about the email, no? So we are just going to read it to finish with this activity, yeah? Here it says match the capital city with the corresponding places. At this moment, I have no idea where the capitals of these places, like we have Kathmandu, Wellington, Lima, Garso, San Jose, Nairobi, Kingston, and Sofia. Let's see. The capital of I know that San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica. I also know that Lima is the capital of our country as well. I also know that the capital of Kingston is Jamaica, and the capital. Oh, so what am I talking about? The capital of Jamaica is Kingston. The capital of Peru is Lima. The capital of Costa Rica is San Jose. The capital of New Zealand, is it Wellington? Wellington, right? Wellington. Wellington. The capital of Poland. Yeah, Poland is Warsaw. I'm not sure about this. Help me with that information. And now we're going to read the description of Lisbon. Match the picture say to if with the paragraph 1 to 5. And there we can see different beautiful pictures about this place. Lisbon, a city by the sea. So we read and then we do the exercise that we have on the next page. Yeah. Here it says Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal. It's on the river Tejo. It's next to the sea. Lisbon's pretty small capital city. About 5,500 people live there. Lisbon has some very old areas. Alfama and Gres are beautiful old districts with narrow streets, small squares, and interesting shops. Above them is the castle of St. George. There are wonderful views of the city from the castle. You can walk to Alfama and Grass, and you can take a streetcar. It's a great way to see this part of the city. If you want to go on a day trip, take the streetcar to Berlin. It's the last district before the beach. There are some interesting museums, a cultural center, and some really beautiful parks. You can try Belem's famous pastel de nata, too. These are delicious custard pastries, perfect with coffee. And there are lots of places to eat to go to Lisbon and go out in Lisbon. Bairro Alto's a good place, and there are lots of restaurants and stores. It's pretty noisy at night sometimes. If you want a traditional Portuguese restaurant, go to Alfama or Graça. You can visit Lisbon during any season. It's not very old in the winter. Spring and fall are lovely times to visit because it's beautiful, warm, and sunny. Summer in Lisbon is very hot, but you can go swimming in the sea to cool down. Write a paragraph about number each topic. All parts in Lisbon. All parts in Lisbon. Which paragraph? It's paragraph. Which paragraph talks about all parts in Lisbon? Number 1. Here we have all parts in Lisbon. Is about the trip. It's the city district. Places you can visit Lisbon. There are wonderful views. Small squares. All parts. I don't know. Oh, I have the answer, but I can find it now. Pastel de nata, interesting shops. There are lots of places to eat, a good place, and there are lots of restaurants. It's very cold in the winter, and the cool season are streets. Yeah, we're gonna skip it. When to visit? Number 5, definitely. That's paragraph number 5, because here says, you can visit Lisbon during any season. It's not very cold in the winter. Spring and fall are lovely times to visit. And we have in number 3. Number 3 here says geographic information. In which paragraph can you find geographic information? Geographic information can be found in exercise. There are wonderful views. Number 2. Geographic information number 2. Yes, because here says Lisbon, very old areas of Hamagras, beautiful district and narrow streets. Both the castle, there are wonderful views to the city from the castle, and you can walk Alfama and you can take a streetcar. Geographic information. Number 4, an interesting day trip. An interesting day trip. Number 3. If you want to go on a day trip, take the streetcar to Belém. It's the last district before the beach. Number 5, where to eat and go out. Yes. There are lots of restaurants. It's pretty noisy. If you want to a traditional restaurants, go to Alphen. That's in paragraph number 4. So here, this one is paragraph number 1. Paragraph number 1. And we have, when you write a text, here you have some tips about writing. The first sentence of the paragraph introduces the topic. We call it the topic sentence. For example, in paragraph number 1, the topic sentence is Lisbon's capital city of Portugal. It's like a sentence that you use to start when you write a paragraph describing a place, for example. In pairs, write a topic sentence for each paragraph about Madrid. A topic sentence. A topic sentence is like a general idea about that paragraph, okay? And here it says, it is in the middle of the country and it's one of the river manzanas. Madrid is the capital city of Spain and it's important political, economic, here, for example, we can say the capital city. The capital city, number 1. That's a topic city. A topic sentence in number 1. A really old park is El Capricho. The park has a river, a lake, and some interesting statues and fountains. Another Mount famous park is El Retiro, and this very okay, maybe famous parks. No, paragraph number 2. We're just um, remember that this exercise is the general idea about the sentence. You can go to Plaza Santana where there are a lot of fantastic bars and restaurants. Other great areas of going out there are Latina, Malasaña, and Trueca, where there are a lot of fantastic bars. Entertaining, for example. No, this is a sentence. Or in this paragraph, we have information about entertaining places or places where you can have some fun. Yeah. Finally, we have a writing builder, but we are not going to do it as I told you. And as homework would be this one. This one would be the homework, okay? Page 56 and 57 would be the homework, okay? So that would be everything for today's lesson, guys. So please use the video to practice, and also use the PowerPoint presentation to practice at the same time, to practice about the information we have practiced before. Okay? Thank you very much for your attention. So we have, oh, where's this? Yes, perfect. So that will be everything with the video I sent you last class. Last class, no, yes, previously, huh? Okay. Thank you for your attention. I didn't fail on it.